Wild boars are a nightmare for farmers. They dig up the ground in search of food, destroy pastures, and damage crops. What's alarming is that this invasive species reproduces at an incredibly fast rate, with each female capable of giving birth to up to 12 piglets per litter and reproducing twice a year. Local authorities have tried everything to control them, from setting traps, building fences, to using chemicals, but the boar population continues to rise. And that's why today our team has decided to head out, not just because of our passion for hunting, but also to protect the farmers' fields that are being destroyed by these wild boars every day. This morning, the sun was gently shining, and we began our hunt in a small forest behind a neighbor's house. As soon as we arrived, the team quickly set up the guns, took their positions, and waited for signals from the hunting dogs. After a while of waiting, the sound of barking broke through the air. A wild boar, trapped by the dogs, burst out of the forest, charging straight toward us. Seeing the opportunity, I moved the gun along with the boar's movements and fired. The first 2 shots just grazed its back, making it stagger. But with the 3rd shot, the bullet hit its mark and completely brought it down. So, we had our first trophy of the day. After carefully scouting the terrain for a while, we realized that this forest was relatively small and didn't have many wild boars, so the team decided to move to a different area. The pack of dogs was still full of energy, running ahead to search for prey. Thanks to that, as soon as we left the forest, we encountered the next wild boar. The boar was struggling to find a way out under a small stream. I calmly raised my gun and fired. A precise shot brought the prey down on the spot. On the other side of the stream, there was a gentle hill covered in thick bushes as tall as a person, an ideal hiding spot for the boars. However, with a favorable vantage point and eyes always alert to the smallest movement in the trees, I would notice the boars the moment they moved. Sure enough, not long after, a dark shape quietly slithered between the bushes. Several gunshots rang out in quick succession. One bullet hit, but it wasn't a fatal shot. The boar panicked, turned around, and managed to run a few more meters in the opposite direction before collapsing and rolling down the hillside. After more than an hour here, the team decided to move to another forest area, one where wild boar packs frequently appeared. As soon as we arrived, the pack of dogs immediately picked up the scent of a group of boars hiding behind some dense bushes. I tightened the trigger, fired a few shots to flush them out. The entire group panicked and ran off with growls echoing through the deep forest. Then I spotted a wild boar still hiding under the trees. Not missing the chance, I lowered my gun and fired, successfully finishing off the target. The team ventured deeper into the forest to hunt for new prey. Less than half an hour later, a large boar entered my sight. We continued hunting into the late afternoon. Then the whole team stopped on a trail leading out of the forest, waiting for the last few prey before the end of the hunt. Suddenly, a wild boar dashed across the road, raising a cloud of dust. I instinctively reacted, raised my gun, and aimed decisively. Right after that, another boar dashed out and became the next target. Another precise shot brought the prey down on the spot. The sun slowly set behind the hill, casting a golden-orange light across the forest landscape. We turned back, retracing our steps on the trail, concluding the hunt with many memorable victories.
For the past 2 weeks, villagers in a rural region of Turkey have been constantly complaining about wild boars destroying their crops and even attacking livestock at night. Despite trying various traditional methods, the problem persisted. Faced with this urgent situation, our hunting team teamed up with the locals to take action. And so began the chase for these destructive invaders. This would be our first ambush of the day. We had just gotten into position when the first dark shapes started to emerge from the distance. Startled by the gunshot, the boar bolted, crashing through the underbrush trying to escape. After several more rounds, it finally collapsed onto the forest floor, and I couldn't help but celebrate the moment. Following that first success, our team advanced up the mountain slope. We immediately got into position, constantly adjusting our scopes as the herd moved unpredictably through the rough terrain. The first shots were fired from a considerable distance, a real challenge. But thanks to sharp focus and accurate shooting, we managed to bring down several targets in the blink of an eye. We had only moved a short distance when suddenly, another familiar silhouette appeared. The moment it poked out from the brush,
Ify red, quick, clean,
and precise. Not far from there,
another wild boar darted out.
I stood my ground, gripped the rifle tightly, and opened fire. Unfortunately, my first shot missed.
J20 the animal a chance to sprint away.
Luckily, my hunting partner had been waiting further down the slope. Right beside us, another friend fired and sent a second boar tumbling to the ground. The loud barking of our hunting dogs led us to another boar trying to hide. But this one wouldn't go down easy.
Le VN d'instinct driven.
It slipped through narrow gaps and dense foliage. Our team opened fire, but the boar kept weaving through the undergrowth.
Outmanœuvring et vribulet. In the end, the herd managed to escape,
leaving us behind, frustrated and regretful. We pressed on over rugged, rocky trails, making our way toward the mountain peak. Scanning the landscape ahead, we spotted a herd of boars charging downhill. Determined not to let them get away, we quickly spread out and blocked off key escape routes. As soon as the boars broke from the trees, my buddy and I opened fire,
letting off a storm of bullets.
Despite their frantic dash, two of them fell almost instantly. We were certain more wild boars were still hiding nearby. The team kept searching. Suddenly, under fierce pursuit by our dogs, a huge boar burst from the bushes, startling everyone. But this was no ordinary prey. It was strong, fast, and surprisingly agile. One final burst, then it collapsed in the middle of the forest, bringing an end to a truly intense encounter.